I wish to return briefly to the first part of the tape concerning the tongue problem. One must admit that a great deal of our vocal problems come from the tongue. Okay, now I want you to watch very closely what I'm talking about with the tongue problems. I am not exaggerating, people. These are the positions of the tongue that come into my studio. One is the grooved tongue, which is this. The other one is a tongue pulled up. This was what Jack's problem was when he came, and we still have to fight it a little bit, but not nearly like we did. And the other one is when the tongue is pulled way back. You can see the floor of my mouth between the tip of my tongue and my lower front teeth. That just chokes the tone right off. The other one is what we call the bunched tongue. I cannot bunch my tongue. So this is the way it looks in the mouth. It's all humped up like my hand is right now. And teachers, I've had students come to me from teachers who have tried to eliminate that problem by taking a spoon and pushing it down. It doesn't work that way. How do we go about it? By using the na, 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 na. The jaw is still, the tongue is up. It's lifting it up in the back. And then we do the wide snuff to help eliminate that tongue problem. Now, I want to be very specific about what I'm saying about this wide snuff. Because when I have students working with it, they halfway do it, or they do it too fast. It must not be done too fast, because what you're doing is working with all of those little tiny muscles that are up above and behind the nose, your little snuff muscles when you snuff your nose. That's exactly what you're working with. All right, now it's a wide snuff. The cheek muscle is up first. The side of my jaw is down, but that stays up. That comes down. The tip of my tongue is down front, and I am inhaling through my nose, and as I inhale, I'm going to go like this, showing that I'm inhaling, and when I start that way, I'm going to be exhaling. All right? Now, when I am inhaling, I feel all of those little pull-up muscles behind my nose and over the soft palate, just lifting, all right? The chest does not come up as I'm inhaling. Watch it again, please. Wide mask, drop in the jaw, tongue front, inhaling. The tongue is wide as I'm inhaling. Don't let your students say, with the tongue pressed. This is wrong. Keep thinking of wide tongue. I feel as though there's an umbrella sort of going up inside my mouth as I do that wide snuff exercise. It's a very important exercise as far as I'm concerned. The sooner one gets the inside pull-ups. Now, when I'm talking about the inside pull-ups, I'm talking about that soft palate and the hard palate area. We know the hard palate is stationary, but those little muscles above that hard palate are moving when we're doing that wide snuff. The soft palate and the muscles behind, up above the hard palate, when they are in correct balance and the jaw and the tongue are in balance, then one gets a balanced tone. And we feel the different sensations and the different ranges of our voice. Now, another problem we have coming into our studio is a student with rounded shoulders. And I want to introduce to you Jane Howe. Jane, I want you to stand the way you did when you came to me first in the studio.
Okay.
All right. What did I do about it? Well, the first thing I do is get rid of all this beautiful hair behind here, because I want you to see what is happening to this part of the neck as well as here. All right, now I also want you to watch what's happening across her shoulder blades. Pinch your shoulder blades together 3 times. Slowly, never fast or rigidly. 2, 3, and the 4th time I want you to pull them down. Now pull down on the shoulder blades. Do you see the width across her chest here? Do you feel the width that you...
Yes, it's much stronger across here.
Much stronger. And do you feel a difference in the back of your neck?
The back of the neck is stronger too. I just feel straighter and freer.
And when I first tried to get her to do that, do you remember what you said to me? What did you say? Do you recall?
I felt like I couldn't breathe because the throat was sitting at a different angle.
That's right. It was sitting in an entirely different angle. And she says, I feel very constricted with this back. And I said, you may feel that way because you're not accustomed to the correct posture. Mm-hmm. But as quickly as she got that correct posture, it helped everything. All right. I want you to do a little bit of the Bach aria for me, will you please? There was one other problem I want to speak of very quickly with Jane, and that was the upper lip. Now, in the first part of this tape, we had a person with an upper lip that was short. Now, Jane has a very normal upper lip as far as I'm concerned, but when she came here, she was singing with that upper lip just pulled right down, just like that. Now, she's not, and I want you to sing for us a little bit of a Bach aria for me, please. Will you do it the wrong way? I mean the wrong way by pulling the upper lip down like you did when you started singing this for me, please? And listen to the difference of the tone. Just listen and watch, okay?
Deine Wangen müssen heut viel schöne Prangen, alle den Bräutigam selig zu lieben.
Okay. How did that feel?
It's like singing through molasses, and I can't control either the tone or the breath as well.
Oh, the pitch.
Yeah.
Right? All right, okay. All right, now there's one other thing I want you to notice. I want her to do it correctly, again, for you, because I want to leave you with the right tone in your ears out there. But I want you to notice one other thing. You hear me talking a great deal through all of these tapes about the looseness of the jaw. Watch her when she goes skipping of an interval, how loose the jaw is, please, and do it correct. Do it, wait a minute. Let's do it wrong first. Swing the jaw too much, and let's see what happens.
Deine Wangen müssen heut viel schöne Prangen, alle den Bräutigam
All right, now, you saw what was happening from the side, I hope, as well as the front. Okay, now will you please sing it correctly with the lip involved and the right action and the right balance of the jaw. There's a great deal that happens when the jaw is in balance. And you hear me talk about the balance, and I'm talking about this space right there to there. And I'm talking about, if it's too wide, it's going to be just like it was when she sang it a moment ago. And if it's in balance, those tones are just going to pop right over. Okay, let's try it now. Everything right.
Deine Wangen müssen heut viel schöner prangen, alle den Bräutigam selig zu lieben.
Now this is another voice that was so tiny when she came to me. I cannot tell you. I had no idea that that voice was down inside that throat. But we got everything in balance. Here it came blooming out. It was beautiful. Thank you very much, Jane. I'm asked the question many times, should you try for a big tone? Absolutely not. We have never once said a thing about making a big tone. I never talk about that. When the breath is right, the oral cavity is right, the mask is right, the combination of the legs underneath you for that support of the whole body, the tone will grow and it just becomes bigger, just that easily. We've been talking about over-singing, or I want to speak about it right now, this problem of over-singing. When you get in with a choral group particularly, sometimes you get carried away with what's happening all around you and you begin to over-sing, and you will never have as beautiful a tone. It will never blend, and you also will be breaking down the vocal line that you're trying to build. So don't ever over-sing. Always feel like you have more left than you ever use. Another problem involves the placing. I don't like that word placing. You mentally think that tone, where it's going to go. You remember in the tape we did earlier where I told you about the little impulse area in the brain that directs a tone. You think where that tone wants to be sent and it just goes there. All right, when you say, I'm going home, I'm going home, I'm going home. Now the first one, I thought way back inside there, and it went way back inside. The next one I thought way front, and it was, to me, white. The third one is what I call the balanced tone. I'm going home, I'm going home, I will come to. It's balanced. The front pull-ups and the back pull-ups. Science tells us, science, now, remember that word, science tells us that every tone goes into every cavity it can and vibrates, particularly in the head and the whole torso. When you get that tone sitting right, you're going to get it where you can have a big tone or a piano tone, any kind of a tone that you want, because it's going to hit all those holes in your head. Okay, now, these solutions take time. The back pull-ups, how do I get the back pull-ups? I get them from those K exercises. The K, K, key. You cannot say a K without involving the soft palate. Try it. Ka, K, ki, ko, ku. It is involved, the soft palate. The K did it. I didn't do it. That's why we use that K exercise as much as we do, because it is a thing that is strengthening that soft palate. How do we get the front pull-ups? By the pre, pre, pri, pra, ningy, 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 ningy. That is working on those little front pull-ups. They're all up through here in the face and the nose, behind the nose, the upper lip. Those are all front pull-ups. We have made a tape on this, and I hope you will view it and think about it a great, great deal, because a balanced tone is always a beautiful tone. When it has a front pull-up and the back pull-up and they're right together, it's like an elevator. It's going right up inside your mouth and your head. Sometimes I have high school students come into my studio and they have what we call a white tone. There's no vibrato in it. I've had many of them say, well, I've had a teacher that has had me make a vibrato. I don't agree in this direction of going. I never try to make a vibrato. The reason that tone is white is because it has no resonance in it. And when you get all of these things combined that we've been talking about, the resonance comes into the voice, and a natural vibrato comes into the voice, and it just all works as one big unit. If consonants are sung incorrectly, they will block the resonance. We have one whole tape on just consonants and vowels that I hope you'll be able to see. If the pitch is flat, many, many times it's because a consonant which leads that vowel in to the voice is sung incorrectly, and this will just pull it down out of its little home, I call it, where it should be sitting. That vowel should be sitting. It's a consonant. All right, now the next problem that we're going to be dealing with now is pitch. We have a problem of flatting, and it is not always the consonant that has caused it. Many, many times it is that soft palate. The soft palate is not arched, and we never pull it up. It gradually goes up from working these little kikes and kikas and kakekikoku exercises. That is the exercise that works on that area. Then I work on what I call a wide snuff. Now I want you to watch this very carefully, because students invariably try to do it too fast. They halfway do it. The wide snuff first involves these little cushions under my eyes. They're up. Then I drop in the back, still leaving this up. The tip of my tongue is down in front. The back of my tongue is going to be up. I am going to inhale through my nose, and I'm going to do it very gradually, which you should do very gradually. Don't try to hurry this exercise. You're working with tiny, tiny little muscles up in there, strengthening them. All right, now when I go this way, I'm showing you that I'm inhaling. When I go that way, I'm exhaling. And I want you to notice that the chest does not come up. My tailbone is under, my body alignment is right first, that we've talked about so much in these tapes. All right, first the cheek up, drop, tongue, Now, I have students that they'll say, that's so wrong. Just stop them. This has got to be up first, then that's got to be square. Tongue is down front, the back of the tongue is up. Inhale very, very slowly, and exhale very, very slowly. Then I do what we call a Wa-E exercise. I do it from that wide snuff area. I'm going to do the wide snuff. Wa-E. Now the E is the brightest vowel we have, the O is the darkest vowel we have. E is way front, O is back and goes straight up over the soft palate in the back. And when I do that wide snuff first, then I just feel as though that O is sitting right on top of my soft palate as I start to sing it. And the column of air that's underneath it is just feeding that tone. I usually do that in a minor sixth, by the way. I think it's good for our ears to be listening to minors and majors, and I usually do that in a minor sixth, which I will not do it again just now. But I want to bring this out very emphatically here, that when a teacher starts to work with a student, and she has pitch problem that she's dealing with, one must get that middle voice range right first, and then you let the student go on up into the upper range. When that student comes back to you with material that you have not told her to sing yet, but bless her little heart, or his little heart, they're so eager to get this done yesterday that they bring in an aria that they have no business singing at this point because they're still flatting in pitch. Their chests are sunken, their body alignment has to be right, that space inside that soft palate has to be right, and then gradually the pitch will go up and the range will go up. But if that student will not listen to you and will absolutely disregard you telling them to sing only this and will jump ahead of you, they simply undo what you've done. It's just that simple. The voice has to be secure in that middle range before you let it go to its extremities. Sometimes one syllable in a phrase will go under pitch. Many times that syllable is one of our short vowels. The consonant may have also pulled it down. I want you to watch very carefully what I'm doing with my upper lip. Pre, pre, pre. Pre, 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 pra, pra. I'm asked, do you turn out the upper lip? No, it goes straight up. And many times the students will not even move. It will if you'll just be patient. You'll finally get some action with that upper lip. Pre, pre. Now I want you to look very closely here at a chart to show you the muscles with which I have just been working. Do you see this dark line up over? This is the hard palate. This is the uvula that you see hanging down here. These little muscles are going right up over the hard palate. And when I say pre, 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 I can feel those little muscles pulling up over my hard palate. When a tone is sharp, that is because the voice is out of balance. And most of the time, it is because the tone is not far enough front. Now, I talked about the balance a little bit ago. For the back pull-up and the front pull-up that we've been talking about are going up together. Sometimes a person who has perfect pitch doesn't matter at all. He still will sharp because his voice is not in balance. It is not an ear problem. It's a physical problem of the tone not sitting right yet. And it's too far back most always when that tone is being sharped. Or he may be forcing. If he pushes, the tone will sharp also. I want to read a quotation from Dr. Frank E. Miller's book. It is impossible to bring out the subtlest points in any set of vocalises. Careful diagnosis with careful watchfulness over the development of a pupil's voice and slight changes to meet every new condition that arises are essential. That's what we're here for as teachers. To continue, we must be completely aware as teachers that the student's tone may necessitate an immediate decision on our part to change from one exercise to another, or even one kind of exercise to another, in order to meet a new phase of development. On my cards that I keep on every student that comes into my studio, it's almost like a running medical history with that student. And many times you will find, leave off such and such an exercise. And we leave it off. We'll come back to it later on. Now, this brings up a point that I found to be true when working with our next problem, which was a shaking jaw. This is Jackie Folkland, a coloratura. And I've never had a jaw that ever shook as badly in my studio as Jackie's did. When did it begin to shake, Jackie?
I suppose about my sophomore year of college,
Sophomore year of college.
when I started pushing.
Started pushing. All right. Okay. When she came to me, first thing we started working on was a breath, which I do with everybody. We did the circle arm breath. Well, I'm not going to demonstrate that now because we did that in the earlier part of the tape. Then I found out that Jackie was locking the breath. The breath was not flowing. So I gave her what I call a sit-up exercise. And I do not give this exercise to anyone except the advanced students. Jackie, would you lie flat on the floor, please? All right. I want you to take a breath and do a regular sit-up and sing the octave jump on he, ah. All right. A nice big breath. That jaw was as quiet as it could be, and the first time we did this exercise, that jaw stopped shaking. So this was an answer to me again, that was part of her problem, was the breath. All right, one more, please. All right, it's very quiet. Now, I want you to notice also how straight the back is. When you get students that do this exercise, be careful that their torso is straight because that diaphragm, where it sits. Also be careful that the toes do not pull up as they come up off the floor. If they do pull up, hook them underneath a Davenport or a sofa or something so they stay down, because if they do not stay down, you will not get that wonderful pull in the lower part of the abdomen. Thank you very much. You may stand up, Jackie. Now, we've been talking about a very important muscle. You've heard me mention it many times on earlier tapes, that is this rectus muscle. And that is a muscle that you use when you do sit-ups. It's connected to the pubic bone and to the sternum bone. And the whole abdominal area is completely involved as she comes up there on that he-ah exercise. It's a wonderful exercise to help get the real depth in to the body for support. I have a very interesting little quotation here I wish to read to you. And I wish to say this, a very famous teacher of the old Italian school, Garcia, invented the laryngoscope, which goes down into the throat. It aided Marchesi, and that name Marchesi, as you know, she was one of our great singers and great teachers. It enabled her to establish the old Italian vocal method on a scientific basis. Marchesi, and I quote, says that everything in the voice development has to happen naturally once, underscored, the singer's posture, position of the mouth, and breathing are correct. That's what we've talked about from the beginning of these tapes, from the very beginning. That's Marchesi. Sometimes I think we teachers in this day think that we are the only ones that are working in the scientific field. Well, it started way back there with Garcia and Marchesi. All right, now, Jackie, I want you to do, I use a lot of the Marchesi exercises with my people after they get quite a way along, not before. I want you to do one that we picked out from one of the books. Thank you, Jackie. There was a lot of vibration in the lips, if you noticed, and this is fine. That's tone, just vibrating those lips. One of the things we found out also, that the inside pull-ups, and that I've talked a great deal about today, were very weak. So I changed exercises on her, and I want you to do this one where we roll the tongue out and we sing knee from the 5 down to the 1. All right, now na. You see, the jaw is absolutely quiet. Another one. See how strong she is up here. How do you feel inside, Jackie?
Like a strong high arch in the soft palate.
Strong high arch in the soft palate. I want you to do just one little spot of the shadow song, will you? Where the shadow is talking and then where the little gal is talking.
Si bien,
Okay, all right, thank you. It's always a problem in classifying voices. I never tell, when she came to me, she was singing dramatic soprano things, material, and I had no idea there was any coloratura there. I never tell anyone in the first lesson what they are until after get the oral cavity all coordinated with the jaw and the tongue, the breath, and the timbre of the voice commences to come in. Then is when I commence to think about what the voice is going to be. Sometimes lyric sopranos turn to be mezzos. I've had this happen just in the last year. I've had dramatic coloraturas, dramatic mezzos, I should say, that have been forced up to becoming lyric sopranos, and when they did it, they lost all of that beautiful, luscious tone they had. Sometimes a high baritone will go into a high held tenor. Many, many times this happens. This all happens around the age of late 20s and early 30s, and then is when we have to be very, very careful about what we do with that voice. I want you to know Madeline Cafaro. Now, please come. Madeline came to me when she was 21. When I was teaching in the Manhattan School of Music in New York City, she had a wide range, and it was a true mezzo. And then our paths sort of passed, and only been the last 2 years that we've been back together again. I want you to do the NG, well, first do the ragdoll drop for me, please. Now, big wide back breath, and I want you to start on the NG exercise that you've heard me do on all the tapes before this. Come on down the whole way, please. All right, up one more. All right, okay, you don't know where you are. All right, where are we now? The D flat? Hit the talk to you, or give her the E, please. High E, all right? Okay, and you see there is no change in the line. All right, now I want her to do the Ozean. Just one bit of it. She brought this to me and I nearly fell over. I didn't tell her to do it, she just brought it. Okay, Ozean, this is one of the great big dramatic arias for sopranos. Okay. I've heard this twice, I guess, before. There's a lot of polishing that has to be done on it. It's wrong for a teacher to tell that voice, as far as I'm concerned, look, I'm going to make a soprano, a dramatic soprano out of you. We're walking on precarious ground, and one should be very, very careful about this. This is why I never tell a student this when they first come in to my studio. But the voice to me sounds like it wants to go up. So I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to start out, and we'll start working with the young dramatic soprano and see what just will happen. Thank you so much. We cannot tell until the whole body is functioning correctly what that voice is going to become.